Right, hello everybody, it's Mr. Lehman. We're going to do our density of a gas lab, unit 11. Since we're studying gases and we just looked at the equations that we can use to solve for density of a gas, figure we might as well have a little fun. So we have some dry ice with us today. Oh, it's angry dry ice. So here's a big piece of dry ice, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some water in this beaker. And I have some vegetable oil already in this beaker. I got some old school vegetable oil, seeing its better day. So here we go. We want to figure out what is dry ice. So first of all, what is dry ice? Well, look at the board behind me. Dry ice is nothing more than solid carbon dioxide. And so what's unique about carbon dioxide is it will sublimate. It'll turn from a solid into a gas at a very low temperature, negative 109.3 degrees Fahrenheit. So room temperature, we know we're looking at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're talking 180 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than the sublimation temperature. And so we want to figure out what is the gas that we see here. So I'm going to take a piece. I'm going to put it into my beaker of water. Check that out. Pretty cool. It's like a fog machine. And then let's take a piece of dry ice and let's put it in the vegetable oil. Let's separate these out here. So take a look at that. Nothing coming out, no gas. What do we see here? Lots of gas. So the question is, what is that fog? So what do you think the identity of the fog is? Most people think that it's, hey, it's carbon dioxide, right? Well, if it's carbon dioxide, look, there's carbon dioxide, there's frozen CO2. We have solid CO2 in both of these. We see bubbles in both. But there's no gas coming out of this one, no fog coming out of this one. So this fog that we see isn't carbon dioxide gas. Well, what else could it be? Well, if it's in this beaker that contains water, and we don't see that fog here in this beaker that contains the vegetable oil, then what do you think it is? So take your best guess. And the answer is water, right? It's cooling down the water. And so we see basically that's fog, that's water vapor, that's condensing. All right, so that's pretty cool. All right, so next up, I want to show you, let me get our piece of dry ice from my container here, my cooler. And I'm using tongs to pick it up because it's super, super cold, right? It's like negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 110. So maybe at some point in your life, somebody played a mean trick on you and put some salt in your hand and said, hey, take this ice cube and squeeze it, and it hurt really bad. That's roughly 0 Fahrenheit. We're talking over 100 degrees colder than that. So this will cause some very, very painful experiences very quickly. So you never ever want to grab dry ice with any sort of force. And I want to show you this here. And it's not quite ready to go. Let me just leave this piece of dry ice. Let me just let it hang out there on the table in front of us. And while we're waiting for it to do something, I have this beaker. And I put some soap in here. I just put some good old dish soap, nothing fancy. Put some dish soap in here. And I'm going to drop in another piece of dry ice. I'll drop in a couple pieces actually. And normally I got a Philadelphia Eagle winter glove, and I forgot to bring it in today. I got to bring it in tomorrow for lab day. So check that out, pretty awesome, right? So we are basically making soapy bubbles. So this makes personal hygiene fun right here. So I'm going to take these soapy bubbles and I'm going to smush them. And then I got soap. I can like wash my hands and clean hands. Personal hygiene is fun when you're talking chemistry. I'll drop another piece in here to speed up the process. If I use hot water, it would happen even faster, right? All right, hands are nice and clean. So I'm going to set this aside over here. And let's go back to this guy right here. He's been hanging out on the table. Oh, look at that. You can't see it. I got to move my iPad a little bit. I got it on the cart. Here we go. We got poor man's air hockey right here. This floats on the table, right? Because right now, look at it. It's sublimating. It's turning into a gas. So the top, the bottom, the sides are all turning into carbon dioxide vapor. And so basically it's hovering on a layer of CO2. Whoa, look at the bubbles there. I don't want that. I'm making a mess. Luckily it's a soap. Here we go. Let me get one last view here. Alright. So those are some demos I wanted to show you. I'm going to stop the video. I'll start a second video and we'll get into the lab with video 2. Be right back.